Hey, everybody, this is Carl White broadcasting from the secret headquarters here at the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And you are listening to Loan Officer Freedom, number one podcast in the world today for loan officers. Great to see everybody here. Actually, I'm broadcasting from the remote here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My daughter lives here, and she's moved here about a year ago or so. And me and the family's up here visiting, and thought I'd knock out a quick podcast episode here. Hey, so first of all, I just want to thank everybody so much for all the kind reviews. That definitely helps get the subject out. And our subject today, I'm calling this the worst call for a loan officer to get. The worst call a loan officer could get. Before I go on that topic, just real quick, I wanted to read one of the reviews. I appreciate you guys sending them in. This one comes from J Haig 23, whoever J Haig 23 is. Thank you very much. J Haig says, I followed Carl for years, has always had great content. I just found his Loan Officer Freedom podcast just a few months ago and has given me the motivation to dig deep and get back to the basics. Thanks, Carl. So, hey, thanks, J Haig 23. I appreciate you. And by the way, if you're J Haig 23 or for anybody that leaves a review, if you simply take a picture of it and then email it to me at support@themarketinganimals.com, support@themarketinganimals.com, I'll give you a physical copy of any one of my books. Probably the one that I'd recommend. They're all good. Maybe Crushing Call Reluctance. That's a good one. A lot of people, we talk about getting back to the basics and making phone calls. So I wrote a book with Kevin Gillespie called Crushing Call Reluctance for Loan Officers. And if you leave a review, whether it's a 1 or a 5, just an honest review is all we ask for. Take a picture, email it to support@themarketinganimals.com, and we'll do two things. We'll send you a physical copy of the book, and then we'll also send you a digital copy so you can start reading it right away. So anyway, all right. So the worst call for a loan officer get. This is another quickie. I like these quickies. You get real quick to the point with some useful information. So one thing on this podcast, and really what I'm about, not so much of, the standing on the chair and fist pumping and, standing on the feet and champing, and chanting kind of thing. I'm more into like what actually works. And this one falls right into that. All right. So the worst call a loan officer to get, and this is going to sound a little weird here, but the worst call is a past client calling you for a refi or to give you a referral. And somebody might say, well, gosh, who's doing refi these days with the rates where they are? Understand rates go up and down, and we're still doing refis. Like we're doing about, last I looked, I think it was like 21%. It was 19% of our business, which is, again, in my team is hundreds of loans per month. That 19% is still refis. Now, most of those are cash out refinances for some sort of debt consolidation, or maybe they're buying another investment house, but we still do a fair amount of refis. But so the reason why the worst call a past client can call you for a refi or to give you a referral, the reason why it's the worst call is because perhaps you as the loan officer should have called them first, right? So if you're just waiting for people to give you a call, I'm telling you, leaving a lot of money on the table. And most of our referrals by far these days from our past database is for purchase loans, right? Whether they're owned, maybe they're buying another house, or maybe they're moving and buying another house, or a brother, a sister, a coworker, somebody at work, like a family member, buying houses where we're getting a lot of our referrals from our past database. And by the way, stand by. I'm not just telling you to call your past database. I'm going to give you what's called in the industry Carl's $1 million past database script. And the reason why we call it a $1 million past database script, it's made me multiples of that. And I know from people that's, giving me feedback back that it's made a lot, thousands of loan officers at this point across the nation, a lot of money. But I want you to think of how many of your clients or our clients could all use our help, particularly right now, by the way, but they don't know what you know, or let's say another loan officer is calling them and helping them with their purchase and or refi. One thing that I learned is that we have to pay more attention to our past customers then anybody else is currently paying attention to them. In other words, you're the one that has to be in communication with them. Because if you're not, somebody else is calling them, somebody else is getting those referrals, somebody else is running ads to them. They answer those ads because, we aren't calling them. And what ends up happening is that other loan officer, that other company is in essence cashing your commission checks in the process, right? And you don't want that to happen. And what about all their friends, family, and coworkers that they would refer to you if you just simply called on them from time to time? There goes even more of those commission checks if you're not doing that. So I wondered, like, we all know that if we call our past database, we'll close more loans, right? Everybody knows that. There's no doubt. If I send out a survey, say what percentage of you believe that if you were to actually call your past database, you close more loans, it'd be 100%, right? So then I thought, well, why don't most loan officers do it then? Like, why aren't they doing it? And I think because I found, like, in surveys that I have done, less than 3% do. Less than 3% of loan officers call their past database. Oh, and the 3% that do, well, they close like 84% of the loans, right? And by the, those are actually like numbers, right? And so the issue most of the time is the loan officer doesn't know what to say. So it's not your fault. Like, nobody's ever shared with you on what to say. So I'm going to help you with that right away by giving you a script that literally has made myself and other loan officers literally millions of dollars in commissions. And there's no catch here. We're just going to call this a random act of coolness here this week. So, all right. So just to drive this home, understand that for every 100 people in your past database, or like if you're new in the business, your list of friends or family members, that, like in my team, we're calling them 4 times a year with Carl's past database script, which again, I'm going to give you. But when we do that, we close an additional 1 to about 2.7 loans each month for each 100 people. Let me say that again. We close an additional 1 to 2.7 loans each month for each 100 people. So that means if you have like 300 people in your past database, I would expect you to close, say, another 3 to 8 loans each month. Now, just an example, let's say you're making, say, $3,000 per loan. Some of you more, some of you less, but I'm just grabbing an arbitrary number, based on the average loan amount of 300,000. Let's say you're making 100 basis points, some of you 50, some of you 250, but just for easy math here, and use your own math that's appropriate to you in your current situation. But if it's 300,000 loan amount, 100 basis points, that'd be $3,000 per loan. So with just a 300 person database, past database, that would be an extra $9,000 to $24,000 per month, right? Extra on top of what you're already closing, an extra $9,000 to $24,000 per month, each month, extra, right? So it's one thing I always thought when I first started calling my database, or when I wasn't, and I did the math on this, I said, holy cow, Carl, it's like I'm writing a check for 10 or 20 grand each month not to call my past database. And I got, tired of writing that check per se, because if I'm not bringing that money in as an income, another way of looking at it is I'm writing a check not to do that call. And I'm not going to pay 20 grand each month not to call my past database. And the numbers can get really crazy here, because like if you have a past database of, say, 600 people, well, then you triple all that. And you can see the numbers here get really, really crazy. And I mean, that's a lot of extra money. I mean, after all, like, what is it? A Rolls-Royce Dawn, that's the Rolls-Royce convertible 4-door coupe, super cool car, by the way. It goes for about $5,000 per month. Like if you want to lease one, or if you're making payments on one, somewhere around $5,000 per month. So for many loan officers, simply by calling their past database, it's like getting a free Rolls-Royce convertible, or actually, I guess 2 of them, one for you and one for your best friend. And by the way, I need a new one if you're looking for a new best friend. But we're talking about making 5 to 10 grand easy per month, right? I firmly believe that. My past experience have showed that. All right, so back to the script here. It's real super simple. And there's really three, or kind of four, but let's say there's three basic components to it. So component number one, remind them who you are, right? It might have been years since they last heard from you. So just kind of remind them who you are. Part two, the purpose of the call is to thank them, right? That's it. The purpose of the call is to thank them. You go, well, when I call them, why am I calling if I haven't called them in like a year or two or three or 10? Why am I calling them? To thank them, right? Nobody's going to get upset when you're calling them to say, thank you for letting me help you in the past, even if it's been a while, right? So part one, remind them who you are. I'm the loan officer, help you close your loan. Number two, the purpose of my call is to thank you. And then kind of a third part, then how you guys doing? How you guys doing? And then the fourth part is the call to action. So this is kind of what it sounds like here. And this is the actual script that we use. So I'd say, hey, insert in their name. So like, hey, Bob, or hey, Judy, this is Carl White with ABC Mortgage. I helped you with your mortgage last time. How you guys doing? Right? And just let them respond. About half the time, if you haven't called your database in a while, about half the time they're going to say, wait, who is this again? And I just read the exact same first part of the script again. Hey, well, hey, Judy, well, this is Carl White with ABC Mortgage. I helped you with your mortgage last time when you guys bought your home, or I helped you refinance, whichever it was, but I helped you with your mortgage last time. How you guys doing? And they're going to give typically, just let them respond. It's typically going to be just well, we're doing pretty good over Carl. Hear about you. Hey, well, I'm doing fine. Here's the second part. The reason I'm calling is I simply wanted to thank you for letting me help you last time with your home financing. So thank you for letting me help, right? That's it. That's the purpose of my call. It's just a thank you. And one more thing, I just also want to let you know that anytime you have any real estate or mortgage questions, you can call me. Hey, do you have a pen to write down my phone number, or do you want me to just text it to you? Most people say, hey, Carl, just text it to me, which, by the way, this gives me a chance to get their cell phone number if I didn't have it yet, right? So let me read that part again. So I'm going to read the whole thing here again. So, hey, Bob, or hey, Judy, this is Carl White, ABC Mortgage. I helped you with your mortgage last time. How you guys doing? And they say, hey, pretty good, Carl. How about you? Hey, great. Well, the reason I'm calling is I simply want to thank you for letting me help you last time with your home financing. So thank you for letting me help you. Oh, I also want to know when you know that when you have any real estate or mortgage questions, you can call me. Do you have a pencil to write down my number, or do you want me to just text it to you? And typically say, hey, Carl, just text it to me. And then I'll say, awesome. Hey, well, I want to be respectful for your time. So I'm getting ready to do the call to action here. Okay, well, I want to be respectful of your time. So I'll let you get back to it, whatever it was, right? I'll let you get back to it. Hey, one more quick thing, if I may. Can I ask you a quick favor? And I always have them answer that. Like sometimes I'll say, hey, can I ask you a quick favor? And then they don't answer. And I go, hey, Judy, can I ask you a quick favor? And then they always say yes. And I go, all right, perfect. Hey, Judy, can I count on you to give me a call anytime a friend, family member, or coworker is looking to buy, sell, or refinance? Can I count on you to give me a call? Would that be okay for me to ask that? I'd like to help your friends out too. Would that be okay? They always say yes, right? They always say yes. Now, the thing about the call to action, never water it down. In other words, if you notice the script there, and we've tested this over and over and over, literally, gosh, at this point, tens of thousands of times, like literally. Can I count on you to give me a call? I don't say, hey, if you need any help, give me a call. No. I'm looking for an answer. Can I count on you to give me a call anytime a friend, family, a coworker is looking to buy, sell, or refinance? By the way, we call that, and most of you know that, we call that Carl's 3x3 call to action, 3x3, friend, family, coworker, buy, sell, or refinance. So can I count on you to give me a call anytime a friend, family, or coworker is looking to buy, sell, or refinance? Can I count on you to give me a call for that? Is that okay for me to ask that, Judy? And they always say yes, right? Say, yes, Carl, you can count on me, right? And there's something very powerful that when their mouth tells their ear, or their ear hears their mouth says, yes, you can count on me. Like there's, I don't know, they're just like, they kind of, in a cool way, kind of given an obligation, right? They've made a promise, so to speak. Now, do all of them refer to us? Well, of course not, but more do than it used to. Certainly more do when we didn't make the call, and more do when we did the can I count on you? And so at that point, they always say yes. And I go, okay, well, thanks so much. Again, but thanks for letting me help. That was the purpose of my call. And I really look forward to hearing from you again soon. I like that. I'm looking forward to hearing from you again soon. In other words, that's kind of like called the assumed sale, where I'm expecting them to give me a call now with a friend, family, coworker who's looking to buy, sell, or refinance. I'm looking forward to hearing from them again soon. And then that's it, right? That's the end of the call. So this is literally about a 3-minute call. Now, sometimes the only time it runs over three, if they go, well, funny you should call, Carl. My son's getting ready to buy a house, and perhaps you could help him with financing options. Well, then, we're gonna have a little bit more, 5-10 minute of conversation, finding out what he's doing and thanking him, getting the referral information, and then calling the son. And have them call the son, let them know I'll be calling, and then call the son, right? And it's really just that simple. So imagine making thousands and thousands of dollars just that simple. I mean, it really is that easy. And I think a lot of times we just try to overcomplicate things and buy all kinds of widgets that have, frankly, will likely have much, much less results than that simple script. By the way, one thing, some people say, well, Carl, what if I haven't called them? Like it's been a year or 2 years or 3 or how maybe 5 or 10. What if I haven't called them? Well, you already have a no. You can only get a yes at this point, right? So if you don't call, you'll continue getting a no. So you have literally nothing to lose, right? Because this doesn't cost anything, right? It doesn't cost anything. The upside is tens of thousands of dollars, right? In my belief, in my past experience, the upside is more closings, right? And these are like the cool referred closings. These are people that trusted you with their social security number in the past, right? So these are like really easy referrals, like really super easy phone calls. And if you haven't called them in the last few years, understand they haven't been sitting by the phone waiting for you to call. Like they don't know that you're supposed to be calling. And even if it's been 4 or 5 years, like when you call them, like they're going to assume, I don't know, I guess I get a phone call every 4 or 5 years. Like that's just must be how this works. Now, in reality, we call these people every quarter. So we call them 4 times a year. And we found that when we called 1 time a year, we got more closings. 2 times a year, we got even more. 3, even more. 4 times we call them a year, even more. But when we called 5 and 6 times, it did not increase the amount of closings from 4. So that's where we put it at the 4. And so that's when we call 4 times, which one of the ways we do that is we call 2 letters of the alphabet each week. So like this Wednesday, we're calling the A's and the B's. Next Wednesday, we call the C's and the D's. Next Wednesday, the E's and the F's of their last name. And if you do that, it comes down to 4 times a year. And we found that we got the most amount of closings when we did that. So if you haven't called them in the last few years, again, they're not sitting by the phone waiting for you to call. Gosh, he closed my loan and she don't call or he don't write and it hurts. That's not what's happening, right? They don't think anything. And so when you call them up, even if it's a 6 months or a year or 2 or 5 later, that it's okay. Like just go ahead and do it. And the purpose of your call again is just to thank them, right? With your call to action. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to put on your big boy pants or your big girl pants and let's see what an extra, I don't know, imagine an extra $16,000 or more dollars per month, what it could do for you, right? When you're making all that money. By the way, if you use this script, you start making all that extra money and you feel guilty that, gosh, Carl gave this to me for free, and you feel guilty about that. By the way, I like a pearl white color on the convertible Rolls-Royce best. So I'm just saying, I'm just kind of putting that out there. If you feel guilty and want to help me out with that next purchase, I like the pearl white one. So, hey, do me a favor, reach back out and let me know how many new loans you get from doing this, like in the next 90 days, using that simple script. Like it's real simple. And yeah, reach back out to us and let us know how many new loans you get in the next 90 days using that script. So I think that's about it. Anything else? Let's see. We need to give a call to action at the end of each episode. Hey, if you're not on the Breakfast Club, that might be something that would be a really good thing for you to do. So what the Breakfast Club is, it's called the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. And there's hundreds of us loan officers all across the nation. We meet every morning for 30 minutes. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything. And we just get in there and we talk about scripts and results and ideas and what's working. And people say, hey, I'm doing it and this is what I got, or I did it and I got this challenge. What would you guys do about this? Super cool group. So if you go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, again, there's no charge for this whatsoever. And it'll put you on this Zoom call that we have every Monday through Thursday, first thing in the morning, so that we discuss ideas. And I think it's something that would really benefit you. And it also, once you do it, it'll throw you into, well, you have to, click a button, of course, but it'll put you into a Facebook group page, which is the Loan Officer Breakfast Club group page. And a lot of people are interacting and they're super cool. I think it's like, I don't know, 11, 12,000, something like that. Somewhere around 11,000 loan officers are in there, all just sharing ideas. Everybody's super cool. Nobody's ever going to do that, weird, you should know that, or how can you be possibly asking that question? There's no uncoolness there whatsoever. Anybody that acts a little funky, well, we just show them where the door is, because we want cool people like you, people that are actually helping other loan officers. That's what this is all about. So, all right, I think that's it. So loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. Look forward to seeing you there. See you on the next episode. Hey, and just one more thing. Would you be kind enough to refer this or forward this episode to 3 of your loan officer friends? Helps get the word out, and they'll thank you for it. I'll thank you for it. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week here on Loan Officer Freedom. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks again.